One of the most common scenarios I get asked about is I have a follow cam 80 to 100 feet away. I have a 250 to 300 millimeter lens and I'm zoomed all the way in and my footage is still shaky. And sadly, that's not your camera and that's not your lens. It's your tripod. Now, we use Canon 50-1000s in arenas all the time at 100 to 120 feet away, and it's perfectly stable. It's because we get the right tripod for the camera setup. It's like when you buy your really expensive, nice PA for your room, but you didn't buy any of the treatment to go around the room. The source out of the PA might be awesome, but what everyone's hearing in the room isn't awesome because those reflections are bouncing everywhere. You have to buy the treatment to go with the PA to actually make the PA sound good. Same thing with buying a tripod for your setup. You have to buy the right tripod. You could have the $100,000 follow cam setup, but if you didn't buy the tripod, it's not going to be stable, and it's honestly nothing that IS is going to fix. You just need to buy the tripod. Now, sadly, that can be a lot of money. Usually with like a 50 to 1000 and Komodo X, I'm looking at tripods in the $10,000 to $20,000 range, which sounds like a lot, and it is. Now, there's some used options out there. I'll talk about it in a minute, but honestly, you are gonna want to spend the money to have that super smooth, not shaky footage. So there's a few things to look for when you're looking for a tripod. First off being the legs. You're not gonna want the lightest weight carbon fiber, whatever legs for your setup. You honestly want slightly heavier legs that are gonna absorb any energy that's happening in the room, whether that's from your low end or from you actually handling the tripod, people walking by. If your platform's not stable, you want heavier legs. Now, you can cheat by adding sandbags, but honestly just buy heavier, super robust, larger legs for your tripod. The second is your fluid head itself. Even though it's rated for the weight capacity, if it's a smaller fluid head, it's actually going to transfer energy from your hands when you grab those tripod handles. It's going to transfer all the energy through the handles, through the head, into the lens, and you're going to see that. You actually want a larger base for your camera to sit on that will absorb a lot of your energy when you're grabbing it. So if you have a smaller bowl, like less than 100 millimeter bowl size on your tripod head, it's probably not big enough for that distance and that zoom range. So a larger fluid head, not just the weight capacity, but how big it is itself. Some of the larger tripods that we've used are like the Vision Vector 90s or Vision 250s. Those types of heads are larger and way better for that type of setup. Now, budget wise, if you're looking for a decent tripod, the Shape Pro carbon fiber tripod with the 100 millimeter bowl and the 45-pound payload is a pretty decent tripod. I've used it successfully with some bigger setups and it works okay, but honestly I would really look for a Vinten Vision 100. That's kind of like my bare minimum. We use that tripod a lot. It's amazing. It's kind of my bare minimum standard, especially for the fluid head. If you can upgrade to a Vinten Vision 250, even better. They make even bigger ones once you go into the Vector line of the Vinten heads. There's also, Miller makes the Skyline 70. I've used that head successfully. It's a great fluid head, and they have different pedestal or tripod options for it. If you have a follow cam setup and you're running a 300 plus millimeter at 80 plus feet and it's shaky, it's probably not your camera. It's probably not your lens. It's probably not your operator. It's probably your tripod. So look into getting the appropriate tripod for that position.